So how do you feel about the resale market today?
I'm a part of it, and I guess I got into it midstream because it's getting bigger and bigger. I'm seeing sneakers being sold, day of. Someone goes in line, gets a sneaker, and walks out the door and speaks to every person in line, asks them for their size. I got your shoe right here, and resells them right then and there in that line. The resale market is insane. It's insane. And then you got a lot of people who are uneducated as well, buying and selling. So that's a whole other aspect of it.
So what makes them uneducated because they buy and sell?
It's on two ends. One, if the consumer who's buying the shoe is uneducated and not aware of the rarity of the shoe, and they get suckered into buying a sneaker that you can get still online at Foot Locker, then that's a problem. That's kind of scary. I try my best to make sure that the sneakers in this store, I do my due diligence to find out price points and make sure that I'm competitive with the market, whether it's eBay, whether it's Flight Club, whether it's all these other sneaker boutiques and stores that are out there you can get sneakers readily from. You gotta make sure that you're playing fair, because you're not the only game in town. Mm-hmm. Somebody's gonna do their research. Some people don't do their research. That's the problem with a lot of consumers. If you don't do your research, you can get caught out there. Again, and now from the selling perspective, for the reseller, amping the prices up to an extreme amount is not cool. If you're amping the prices up to a point where it's how can I say? There's always a consumer out there to buy a shoe, of course, but if you amp the price up to the point where it's ridiculousness, if that's such a word, then there's a problem with that, and it's creating bad business, and it's creating a synergy in the sneaker world that's not good, and it's creating false advertisement to a degree.
Okay.
But now the sneaker companies are getting wise to it, and now they're reissuing a lot of these sneakers. So you might think that the Legend Blue 11s, Columbia 11s, Legend Blue 11s, basically when they bring them out, that's going to be it. But if they restock them, you're screwed because you're not going to be able to sell them at the price point you originally had them for. So now you got to lower your price. It's a game. It's a scale you got to play. And if you leave them at a certain price, it's kind of wacky. But people do what they want. That's business, I guess. But if you're smart about it, the consumer will do their due diligence, and the reseller will do theirs, and then we'll have some type of middle ground where everything is peace.
So
if that makes sense.
How do you feel like your prices are reasonable for your Jordans? Because most Jordan retailers, like you said, they'll tax them, and it's like the retail was 180, 190, yes, and then that's like triple.
It is, and I tell you this, I would sell them at retail, but I gotta get a Nike account. Jordan Brand, if you're listening, give me an account, and we can, it'd be very easy. I would love to have an account. It would be so easy. I could feed everybody. Take them, sell out, and it's gone. I don't have any more, but I get them how I get them, and that's on consignment. So I have to place at a certain price point to keep the lights on, to keep the rent, to pay the rent, to restock, get more inventory, feed my family. And that's the flip side to it. But, and no pun intended, but there should be a certain standard involved. Some people are being very greedy.
So it's the people who have those accounts who are still taxing that.
Oh my gosh, they can easily lose their account. I don't know how they staying open, but there are people who have accounts who are selling them or saying they don't have them, but then the next day they have them after they've been sold, or after they said they sold out. Now they can charge X amount of dollars, and they're charging 25 to 30% markup from retail, and they have an account. That's craziness. That's sad. That's greed. That's big time greed. How greedy can you be? And it's a shame that they still have these accounts, but People still fall for it.
And that's why.
But you can't blame them as well, because again, you have a lot of people who are buying these sneakers downtown Brooklyn, who are, buying fake sneakers at premium prices, which is insane to me. You're buying fake sneakers at premium prices, and when you find out, then you're like, I'm gonna get my money back. Like, you could have bought them here. You could have bought them here, real sneakers, at a very good price, and they would have been real. Mm-hmm. But you feel like you need to go downtown, and you think you're getting sort of a deal, but at the end of the day, you're being raped. Someone came in the other day with a pair of Pantone 11s, and he wanted to make a trade. He had a size 11. He wanted this 11 and a half. So I said, cool, bring them in. I basically, after getting them, I kind of said, something doesn't look right. But by the naked eye, they do a great job in making these sneakers. Yeah. They're not what they used to be. You could tell a fake back in the day, from across the street. But now, you gotta get a magnifying glass. So what I did was I went to one of the sneaker blogs and went on YouTube and said fake Pantone 11 versus real Pantone 11. And sure enough, they were fake sneakers that he had. Size, stitching, little nuances, color of the sole, little nuances you would not pick up if you're not familiar with the shoe. Because if you're coming to the store for the first time to buy these sneakers, you're not going to know. You're going to get caught out there. But if you know you've done your research on the shoe, you would know they were fake. But the guy was so happy that I pointed it out. He took his sneakers back to that shop.
So he didn't know that they were fake?
He didn't know they were fake. And he paid $300 for them. Yeah. $300. But when he told me the price, I was like, what? Let me know the store. I'm going to go pick up a few pairs, because I'm like, you can't find these for $300. That's insane. You cannot find Pantone 11s for $300.
No, not at all.
Let me know the store. I'm going down to pick up a few pairs myself. He brought them in. I said, nah, you got to take these back. But luckily, he had his receipt, because they don't accept the sneakers back without a receipt. He told me when he came back, basically, they tried to hush him down because there was a crowd in the store. I'll give you these Kobe's for half price.
What?
He was ready to kill somebody. He's like, give me my money back.
What store is this? You can put them on blast if you want.
What's the name of the store?
Know the fakes.
Royals
on
Fulton Street.
Okay, so that's like Soho?
No.
Lower. Oh, right down there.
Brooklyn, yeah. But there's more. There's like a chain. They all know each other. We know who you are. Y'all out there, you're gonna. It's not gonna end well for y'all out there in those sneaker stores. I'm telling you, because people they're gonna catch on. They're not catching on. They're walking around with fake sneakers, and someone's gonna call them out, and they're gonna get into a fight with that person. Go home with a certain feeling about it. They're gonna redo the research, find out their sneakers are fake, go down to that store and cause a mess. There's a lot of cats, a lot of bigwigs shop at these stores. Mm-hmm. They think they're getting a deal. They're gonna flip it on these guys. That's not good. They're gonna be on the news. I don't know. I want nothing to do with that. But again, he came back with his money and went crazy and started buying random things in this store, which was a good thing. So I came out on top because I gave him the information. I gave him the knowledge. Yeah. So, and I've had people bring sneakers to me, bought from other stores, just to do a verification check, which was pretty cool.
I'll keep you in mind too.
Yeah, it's definitely. But all the information is on the internet.
Yeah.
Fakes versus real, like it's there, and I'm like, damn, they're really doing a great job on these replicas, these grade Z's or whatever. They're doing a great job on these sneakers. So.
I remember Just Don and Kanye saying that they're responsible for retros being retro.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
No. That's just me repeating what I hear. Shout out to Don. I'm a Don C fanatic. Hats is dope, everything is dope, but that shit was a comical comment to me.
Every damn shoe that I wanted when I was growing up that my parents wouldn't buy me, that's what I wanted. I wanted a Bronco. I bought a 1973 Bronco convertible.